This is part 2 of a 2-part recap. If you haven't listened to part 1 yet, please go back and listen to that first. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy this recording. Bye. Hi, welcome to Shaded Reality and 2Ps Podding. We are here today with Sam and Kylie. So welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Hello.
We haven't actually gone anywhere because we have just been recording straight through. But I broke it up into 2 sessions. So if we put it up in 2 sessions, that's why there'll be a new intro. If I don't put it up in 2 sessions, you guys will get introduced twice. All right. So we are at the reunion. Dakota is up. He is like extremely nervous because he feels like he's alone and the only man out there. We see his flashback package with like Taylor and him. And Nick asks where they stand today. Taylor says that they individually need to work on themselves and just be good parents for their son. She always says the right things, but then we always find out behind the scenes she doesn't necessarily do all the right things.
Yeah.
Nick asks if she's learned like new things about Dakota since the reveal of like Jenna that happened at the beginning of the season. And she says, yes, unfortunately, a lot. So she explains a few instances where he apparently slept with other people in the beginning and she didn't find out until post-baby. And she only found out because Jenna was going to expose their relationship. So he started to having to come clean, you know, about everything. And it explains a lot of why she is just like not going to go back and can never trust him. Because she's like, I literally sat there bawling and he was holding me, telling me how much he loved me and that he told me everything. And then later, other stuff came out, you know, like,
How could he?
At least she knows herself enough that, like, she's just not going to let it go, you know?
Yeah. Right. And that's the thing. Like, how is she ever supposed to trust him ever again? Like, she's constantly going to have that in the back of her head. I would. And that's why their relationship is never going to work.
He's just proven time and time again that he's such a pathological liar that what can you believe that's coming out of his mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, though.
And Dakota tries to explain, but he doesn't do a good job. He just is like, I screwed up. I didn't go about it the right way. And he said he justified that, like, she was already hurting, so he didn't want to upset her more. And I loved this. Nick's like, no. Nothing annoys me more than when people are like, that people that mess up or act like you're doing someone else a favor by not telling them. He's like, no, that's not okay.
Yeah. The whole logic of I didn't want to hurt you. It's like, what you still did, though. Like,
you did the action already, so you're too late for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
You already did the hurting. Yeah. He explains that when him and Taylor got together, he had just gotten sober and wasn't in a good place himself. And he was searching for something to pretty much like replace the high of his drugs. And he kind of explains, you know, that the adrenaline, I don't know if he used adrenaline, the serotonin rush or whatever he got when he was on heroin. He said heroin, which I didn't realize, is like up here.
I didn't realize that either.
And then like, so sexual relationships are like, you know, the same rush is like down here. So I think he was trying to explain like I had to keep doing that to like try to
chase the high.
My drug addiction kind of thing. Yeah.
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 Taylor says, he says he didn't even know for sure that Taylor was like ready for a relationship with everything she had going on, divorce, the swinger scandal, etc. And he said he was clear with her that he could not be around drinking and partying. And we saw that conversation with them when they were like out to eat. And then she drank for the next 3 days and partied. And was she self-sabotaging? Like, why? You know? Or was it like, no one's going to tell me what to do? I don't know what her thought process was there.
Yeah.
Taylor just says she became so angry, and Nick's like, hurt people. And then he says that if they could ever get back together, and he says that if she said yes, he thinks that Dakota would definitely get back together with Taylor. And she's like, no, like, it's never going to happen. And that's when she tells, I think, the story about, you know, she just would never trust him again.
Yeah.
And
which is totally fair.
Yeah.
Right.
And she's like, I'm not doing this to hurt him. She's like, if I wanted to get back at him and hurt him, I'd go sleep with someone. You know, she's like, that's not what I'm doing. She's like, it's not a revenge thing. And they both start crying. And I don't know. She says that maybe one day he could be a faithful partner, but not now. She just doesn't think that he's being genuine. Nick asks what it is with the posts they make, like, with them still together. Like, it looks like they're hooking up. And Taylor just says that they'll never be together, but it's just hard to have a clean break for her.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like that makes sense
and then,
with them co-parenting. I mean, they're never not going to be in each other's lives.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Dakota just made her life so much harder than it ever needed to be.
Yes. 100%. Hopefully as, like, the baby gets older and there's less interaction that needs to happen as co-parents, maybe they'll see some difference. I don't know.
I hope that Dakota just having a kid will make him grow up more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I hope so. Or maybe her being on The Bachelorette and getting a
I forgot about that.
I'm gonna watch that.
I'm so excited for that. So why?
I haven't watched The Bachelorette since probably like the early 2000s. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I've never watched it, but as soon as I found out Taylor was
that'll be a season for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It used to be a big show. Like every Monday night it came out, and we used to watch it in college with a couple of friends. We'd all go to one room, and it was like a huge thing for us. And then, I don't know, after college, I guess I just stopped watching it. I think it got more produced too, and like it just kept getting like crazier and crazier. And yeah, I didn't watch it after a while.
Yeah.
Let's see. Up next, we're joined by, Nick says this, self-declared fan favorite, Demi. But then he says...
Oh, I wanted to add this. I wanted to add this quick. I thought it was in your notes. She even said about, like, that she's tried to give him chances, and, like, just, like, what? Like, several weeks before that, he lied to her about something.
Yeah.
So it's like, because in the moment at first, I'm thinking, like, oh, like, Dakota, like, I think that he's might have grown up a little bit and he's going to get better. But then when she said that, I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
like, you're done. Like, you are done. And I
Dakota
know, like, I want to give him a
every
second
time
chance.
you believe him.
Yeah, like, he starts crying and I'm just like, oh, okay, give him another chance. And then when she says that he's still lying to her, and then I'm like, you're out. Like, I'm done with you, Dakota. Like, I'm over
That's how I get every time. I'm like, okay, maybe he has grown up a little bit. He seems so genuine.
Yeah. Like, I feel sorry for him for a minute, and then he pisses me off again. I'm over it now.
Yeah, and then Nick is like, with Demi, but unfortunately, she has to phone it in, so he is not happy either. So we see them in, like, an interview room, and he asks her why she's not at the reunion. She's like, I would have been there, but we already had this Disneyland trip planned.
That is such bullshit.
No,
like,
she wouldn't have
that
been
is
there.
not true.
So I know people do plan Disney World trips, like, pretty far out, because it's, like, complicated. There's, like, all the different parks, all the things. I thought Disneyland was more of a, like, you just go kind of thing. Is it as planned?
You do have to plan. They have, like, a reservation system in place now. So there is some, like, a certain aspect of pre-planning. But it's only like 60 days, so they would have known about the reunion way before this trip was planned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And could have definitely moved it by a day or two. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're like for me, for example, when I plan a Disneyland trip, I like to plan it like about a year in advance, just so I can like have everything kind of scheduled out and like days, and so we can request time off of work and all that. But this last time I went to Disneyland a couple months ago, we planned it like a couple months out.
Yeah.
And it was easy. Yeah. So like she planned this on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's such crap though, because if I was on a show, and even if I planned a year out with my family, you cancel it, you do the reunion, you have the money. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like one of us that are like saving for a trip to go to Disneyland or Disney World. I feel like this is definitely a different situation, and you cancel it and you move it. Like that, it's just such a bullshit, crappy lie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
She says that she has stepped away from the group to protect her peace. And this cracks Jen up. Like, they show her face.
That part made me so mad, because I was like, but yet here you were calling Jen, like, a liar and a bluff, and, like, that didn't mean anything. Yep. But, okay, sure. For you, it's okay.
For you, for
right.
her,
it's okay for Demi.
He asks her why things turn so fast. And she says that it's a lot going on in Taylor's life that no one knows about, and that the CMA post just created turmoil and everything compounded. Nick asks her if she's the only one in the group brave enough to stand up to Taylor, and she says that people in the group either have said to her that they feel like they owe Taylor for starting Mom Talk, or for the group existing, or like they want to get, you know, like new opportunities out of Taylor. And we see shots of the girls. They're not happy, like their faces. And Macy says, it's easier for her to sit there and not up here. And I mean, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Like so different. Nick asks if Taylor values Mom Talk. And she says, yeah, of course. Jesse says, Taylor cares less about the glitz and glamour and has so much going on. She actually tries to give us stuff and like include the other girls. And Nick asks,
she doesn't seem like that type of girl. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Demi wants it all. Like, she wants it for herself. And I do feel like Taylor is very giving person and wants this group of girls, like this group of women, to like stick together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Even one of the guys said that like Taylor's super humble. So.
Yes.
I just almost tore my mic off with my foot. Let's see. Oh, Nick asked Jessie how she reacted so calmly to Demi trying to like get her entire contract for the show canceled. And she says, like, you know, we did hash it out before the season even started. And she only knew what Demi told her. So when, like, later she found out a lot more that was said, like, you know, she's like, it was a lot easier to react that way then. So we hear that Demi said, I don't want to be a pawn in her hair scheme. She's using all of this for her business. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Like, if you own a business, why wouldn't you advertise on this big platform?
Perfect business advertising, business management. Like, anybody would do that in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it works. Like, I think Macy has said it in the show. She's like, I am going to make sure that I have myself set. You know, like, she's starting a business. She's taking book deals. Like, she's doing all the other stuff. You don't just go into a reality show and be like, oh, except for life. You can get kicked off a reality show at any point.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy that, like, she just turns whatever she wants around. Like, if she started a business, everybody would need to be, like, they'd all have to wear hats. That was Demi's business. Yeah. They'd probably all have to, talk about it at every step of the way, you know?
And Jessie, like she said in one of the episodes, she's so, like, caring about her friends. She gives them free hair services all the time. She always does their hair.
Because she could be making thousands of dollars off of these women. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I said. Like this, she's not just doing it for her friends. It's like she said that she gives Leanne like extensions. She does like all of their color. She's curling their hair. And I know for like the Christmas party, I was telling Marie, like I saw an Instagram post of Jessie doing Demi's hair for that. Like she's constantly like taking her time to help other people. And that's a lot of time and money that she's putting into it.
Yeah, Anne owns a salon, so she knows she's a hairstylist. So like
I'm also a hairstylist, so like
Are you really?
Yeah.
That's so exciting. I don't do extensions, but
neither do I. That's I'm a vivid color person, so
okay. Yeah, I do not do that kind of stuff, but
she's spending a lot of time that she could be making a good amount of money on, like especially with extensions, like those are expensive.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And that's why like the area that I live in, it's not people would never pay that kind of money to get, you know what I mean, that upkeep. And so it's just not worth it for me. And I have mixed feelings on the extensions. I think that they look amazing, but I think they can also be very damaging on your hair. I'm more of like a very natural hairdresser, I guess, if you will, like about the hair health. And I don't know. I do color and that's pretty much it. But yeah.
No, I totally understand. And like, I think it was one of the episodes you brought up how like damaged all their hair is. Yes. And like ever since you said that, I can't not notice it.
Oh,
especially Jessie's. Like Jessie's hair is pretty bad.
And see, and I have been following Jessie. Like, I don't know. She just like popped up on my Instagram the one day. So I didn't even know that she was a Mom Talk, like a part of this group at first until like I then saw like the seasons come out of this, show. And I was like, wait, I know that girl. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I watch her hair stuff. And so she has showed like herself, Layla, I mean, all the girls and Jen, their hair, it's bad. It's really, really bad. So I'm like, I guess if you have the money and the upkeep to like have your hair look like beautiful, then, good for you, but not everyone does. Like, I don't know.
And on Jessie's Instagram, because I follow her on Instagram too, she's very open about like her hair being damaged and stuff, and like that's why she pretty much wears extensions. I'm like, you know what? You're owning it, so I respect you for that.
Right? Yeah.
So Jessie says she was willing to take less money, and Demi was willing to kick her off the show to earn more money. So who has, no more?
Well, and how crappy would that feel that your quote unquote best friend is just like, yeah, get out. Like, we don't need you here.
I know. I can't imagine.
Yeah. I know. And she makes the comments like, oh, she has a multi-million-dollar business.
I know.
Well, good for her. Like, that's great. Like, Jessie worked her ass off to get that. And then you're just going to dismiss it and be like, well, you already have money, so why do you need to be on this? That's such crap. Like, that's not fair at all.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like, do you think she just got that overnight? Like, no, she had to work really hard for that. Especially doing hair. It is hard to, like, get to where Jessie's at.
Yep. Yeah.
Whitney's asked if Taylor supports other women, and she says that Taylor didn't show up to things she was invited to. And Taylor says, I didn't call myself a fan favorite. Michaela's husband, like behind the scenes, says that Taylor's humble about all of it and everything. And Nick says, Whitney, do you think that you or Taylor are better at taking accountability? And she doesn't give a straight answer. So he pushes back and she says, well, I think we're equal. And he's like, equally good or equally bad at it? And she says she thinks she's good at taking accountability. And they show Layla's face.
I love that.
She has the best reactions. Her jaw is like on the floor. Like, are you insane? And Nick asks who on the couch thinks that Taylor's good at taking accountability. And I think everyone, or at least everyone but Whitney, raises their hand. And then he asks who thinks Whitney's good at it. And Whitney and Miranda are the only ones that raise their hand. Yeah. Dakota also kind of did. But then he realizes, oh, I'm not actually being asked. I'm just sitting here.
Yeah. Why was he still even there? I feel like they should have just dismissed him and been like, okay, we're done talking to you now. Leave.
It probably just didn't work. Yeah, with the setup to like make him get up yet or whatever. Because I think they just kept him out there till they brought the guys out, which was like their next reset.
Yeah, I think so.
Whitney feels like there's a double standard, which she says that so many times during this reunion. I'm like, people just don't like you. I don't know. Like, there's reasons. If that many people don't like you, there are reasons.
Like, there's a problem, clearly. If that many people aren't liking you.
Right.
You know what's funny? So we don't get a ton of engagement yet on our social media. Some of it, I just realized literally last night, somehow I had a setting on my Instagram where I had to approve people to be able to send me messages. So there was like 5 or 6 in there that I never approved from earlier in the month or like a month ago. And so they probably thought I just ignored them. And I was like, we are getting engagement. I'm just an idiot with social media. But anyway, one of our TikToks, like literally one of the only comments I got was, I don't agree with you. I love Whitney. I think she's hilarious. And I'm like, of course. The only comment I get is a Whitney lover.
Comment. That's funny.
Oh my gosh. I wrote this in my notes. I love when Whitney's real voice comes out, kind of like how Michaela mentioned that earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Like, she starts off, like, all sweet and soft, and then when she feels like she's being attacked, she starts to get a little bit, like, more mean with her words.
Yes.
And, like, her tone changes, and she was starting to get that way with Nick.
Yes, yeah. Because she's like, he's not on my side.
Yep. She's like, oh, God, he doesn't like me.
Yeah.
And, I mean, how much does, like, I don't know. I feel like if I were Whitney, I watched back these seasons. I watched back the reunion. Everyone coming at me. Wouldn't that be like an eye opener?
That also could
oh, shit.
be the complete opposite, though, because that like defensive people get more defensive and be like, "See, look, they're just attacking me this whole time, and everyone is just so rude to me."
Yeah.
So you would think it would be an eye opener, but then like sometimes some people are just like, "Oh no, look at them all attacking me." Yeah.
Could never be me.
And she also, if she keeps her circle tight enough, she has Connor and like her mom and dad who are probably all like, oh no, Whitney, it's not you. You're not the problem. Like, they agree with her behind the scenes. So she probably has enough of that backup that she really believes what she thinks, you know, kind of thing.
True.
Nick says, personally, I've seen Taylor take accountability on a lot of things. I mean, she also does a lot of things, but she takes accountability when she does. And he's like, but I haven't heard it from you. And she's like, well, then I guess that's just your opinion. That plays into what Kylie's saying. She's like done with him.
Yeah.
She was starting to get so fed up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, here it is.
We get a bit more of the CMA gate. And Demi talks about how Taylor has a lot of petty comments to her. And Demi claims she will say and do things. And then Taylor will say, oh, you're the star. Do you want to be in the middle of this picture? Because that's where you deserve to be. Which I think is kind of funny if she does it. Because Taylor isn't, or at least they don't show her really being a mean girl.
Yeah.
Not like some of the other ones. Like, she honestly doesn't come across that way to me. So I'm like, is that true? Or is like Taylor just that fed up that she's like, I'm done with you. And yeah, I'm going to say this stuff. I don't know. It was surprising to me.
I don't know. I could almost see Taylor being fed up with the situation. Just be like, all right, Demi, take your spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
She says she thinks that Taylor subtly manipulates the narrative behind the scenes. And I don't want to be mean at all, but Taylor's not smart enough to do that. Like, that's like, she's just not. Like, she's not a master manipulator. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
No, Taylor's more of like
one
in the
step
moment.
at a time. She's not a 10 steps ahead type of person.
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
She's not a chess. No. She's shoots and ladders, honestly.
Oh, God.
I love that.
She says that people who do stand up for Taylor, like if people stand up for Taylor, it immediately gets taken online and her followers go after you, and that's why she thinks the other girls won't go against her. Taylor says, I don't think a single person in the room is scared of me. She says, overall, she's pretty calm and passive, except with Dakota. She says, with the CMA gate, she was being petty as shit. Like, she has admitted that. Right. She says social media does matter to her regardless of the offline stuff. And she honestly thought it was a joke. Like, she thought they all planned to not comment on her stuff. And so she was like, oh, you guys are going to do this? I'm going to do something right back, you know? So that's kind of the end of that. I mean, once she explains it, they all talk about it. Like, it makes sense for her personality. It really does. You know, it seems like something you can kind of dismiss. Oh, Taylor's being Taylor again. So all the husbands come out, and then they made Layla and Miranda go backstage,
which was so weird.
I was like,
I noticed that.
Yeah,
I know, that was crazy.
You don't have husbands. Get out of here.
Go bye.
I noticed that. And I was like, that makes no sense, but okay.
Yeah.
He asked Jordan how he is, and Jordan's like, I've been better. And so he's asked, so what did you know? And he says he knew it happened because of conversations that him and Jesse have had. I mean, they're obviously married. And he seems to almost struggle to say her name. He was like, Jesse. Like, it seemed like he didn't even want to say it, but it also could have been nerves and just me reading into it. He asked if he's talked to Brett about the concerns, because obviously Brett's kind of in the same position as him with Demi. And he said he tried, but it sounds like it didn't really work out. And he says he sees him a couple times a week at the gym, and they just kind of wave, and that's all. So I think there's some beef between the men's group, kind of, because there was a TikTok that the Dad Talk guys did that came across one of my pages, and it was like Jordan, Dakota, and maybe I can't remember all their names, but like Michaela's husband and Jesse's husband, and they see Brett across the street, and like Jordan was gonna go after him or something, and they like hold him back. I don't know. It was like a funny TikTok. One, yeah. You saw it. Was that like the right grouping? I can't remember. One. So there's something else going on. I guess we'll hear about it in season 3.
Most likely.
Yeah. We see like a light, funny dad talk clip package of them all like hanging out and like all the little dad things they do. We hear that Jace lost his job after season 1 due to the show, and he was like a project manager at a restaurant, and he's so funny. He has that weird, dry, like sense of humor or like bluntness that just makes him hilarious to me. I don't know why. And so yeah, he's like, yeah, and it was even a family-owned business. And Nick's like, well, what happened there? He's like, well, they have problems of their own. So he just gives these like short answers, but it's funny. And so now he's a stay-at-home dad, and Nick just says like he appreciates like how much he supports his wife and, you know, taking on like being a stay-at-home dad and all that stuff. And so Connor's very articulate with like everything that he says. And I wanted to point that out before we get into the hard stuff. But he almost comes across rehearsed and like with everything too. Because like he gave that speech at like Friendsgiving and other stuff. And I don't know if he's rehearsing this stuff or it's just the way he speaks. But it always comes across that way to me. So I'm not getting it. Yeah, I'm not going to get into details about this, but we'll just quickly cover it. So, again, trigger warning for like sexual assault and child sexual assault. So we see clips of Whitney and Connor, and they're discussing like his infidelity and porn addiction. And then we see a black screen, and it says 4 weeks before they moved to Hawaii. And I'm like, did we ever see this clip before of these two talking about this? Because I didn't remember it at all.
No.
I don't think we did. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say.
I feel like, do you think that they started a recording before and then it seemed like they almost cut it out?
I'm wondering if Whitney and Connor were like, we're not going to be a part of it. And that's why they left for Hawaii.
Yeah. I think that's what halted the entirety of the production of the first season, because that, like, first season, the first episode and the second episode, like, the time lapse between them.
Oh, yeah.
Is crazy.
And they made it seem like it was a Taylor going to jail thing, almost.
Yeah.
But this makes more sense. Okay. Wow, we're like investigators. We just figured it out there in real time.
In that flashback, though, I clocked this, and maybe it's just me, but were those hair plugs that he had?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh my gosh, he got his hair done. Yes, that was definitely hair plugs.
That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, oh my God, does he have plugs?
So I know he likes to do a look. Like, he's changed his look so many times, and I was like, did he get his hair shaved that way? And I was like, no, that's hair plugs.
Yeah.
So
it grew. I mean,
it
you
did.
can see in the reunion, he got hair.
Yeah, he's got great hair now.
Yeah. So Connor and Whitney are like in a confessional type setting, and they're like all dressed up and stuff. So he starts out by saying, I had a really bad problem with pornography, and on top of it, I also had a presence on a dating website. And he says that they needed to get help, like, in their marriage. So they started going to therapy and trying to figure out why. And he's like, but I already knew why. And we find out when he was a little boy, he was raped, which is just insane. And
that was heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking, yeah. So we go back to the studio, and he thanks everyone for, like, their sensitivity around the topic. And he says he wrote down his thoughts because he just doesn't trust himself to kind of, like, speak about all of it off the cuff yet. And it's just all very, very sad. And everyone is in tears. Mm-hmm. And they just, like, let him go through his speech and, like, tell him how brave he is and how willing to share will, like, impact so many people's lives and how much he's going to help people. Like, just because they're not going to feel alone, you know? Like, there, I'm sure, are people out there who have been through similar stuff, and they've never talked to anybody. They've never said it, and, like, they feel alone, you know? So they kind of go to break, and we see people, like, coming over to hug him. And Connor has, like, this little one-on-one with Taylor, and it's so sweet because he's like, listen, you being so open and honest about your whole life and, like, always being willing to just say it, like, actually helped me. And it was, like, so nice because it was really a behind-the-scenes moment. Like, I don't think either of them thought that was going to be caught on camera.
Yeah. I just love how they can all be there for each other, even when they're beefing hardcore.
They really are. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I thought it was so sweet when, like, Taylor started walking up to him. I was like, that just shows how genuine of a person Taylor actually is.
Yeah. Most of them do seem like really genuinely good people. And I don't know if it's just like their Midwest thing, you know, but like they do seem like good people.
Yeah.
And then, so he goes over and hugs Whitney. And I think this is when I cried because he just says, I was so scared. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's just so real.
I mean, that was a lot.
That's too real for me for a reunion. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah, I definitely give him and everyone all the credit, and because I don't know if I could be so open.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
no,
on national television for the world, like that was huge and so brave of all of them.
Yeah. So then we like go back to them like resetting the couches and stuff, and Taylor's giving shit to Dakota like before they come back on. She's like, so what were you guys talking about that there? And he's like, I don't know, you know, just like reacting. She's like, what, you don't remember? Like, she just cannot like let him go. Like, they are truly just toxic.
Yes.
Like,
they really are.
Yeah. So Zach and Jen come out, and so he first asks, so are you related to Ben Affleck? Jen, freaking Jen,
she just can't let it go.
You aren't now, honey. Stop. And she's just like, I don't know.
I know. And Zach in the background is like shaking his head, like, why? Why are we still having this conversation?
He looks so done with it. He's like, oh my God.
She really is that naive, like, and ignorant a little bit. Like, that's just her. Like, I don't think she's putting it on. That is just who she is. And I'm like, oh my goodness. She says she did think she ran with it too much. And Zach's like, yeah, Jen got carried away with it. So then he asks how Jen's doing with her mental health. And she says she dealt with prenatal depression. And it was also just a really hard time in her life. So, like, it did not help, you know. She says, looking back, it was all a blur. And she says, you know, she's dealt with suicidal ideation. And I was like, that's what I think we all assumed, but I don't think it was said until now. And, you know, that's so tough. And, you know, I'm glad she got the help.
That broke my heart.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like,
me too.
Takes a lot to, like, admit that, even to, like, yourself and people who are close to you. But for her to be able to come out on national television and be like, hey, this is what's going on. And even talking about the prenatal depression in general, because I feel like that is not something that's ever talked about. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, you hear about postpartum, and that's just now becoming a thing that you really talk about.
Yeah.
Like, no one ever has said anything about prenatal depression.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, anything to do with, like, surrounding women's health stuff, I feel like, is just now, like, trying to become a thing. I know Anna and I have talked about it because we've both been through pregnancies, and I've had postpartum depression, and at that time in my life is truly a blur. Like, I don't have many actual, like, real memories of, like, my first daughter, probably from, like, 0 to 6 months. Like, I was in a fog. I could not tell you. Like, it just, I don't know. It was just day to day. Like, I got through until my husband walked in the door, and then I was like, here's the baby. And I needed to, like, you know, like, that was, like, my life for months. Like, that's what it felt like until I went back to work and, like, got back into the swing of life. But, yeah, it's crazy how it works. And I think Anne has said she kind of, same thing with her first. Like,
yeah,
it just,
it's tough.
It hits
really
you.
Is.
So I can't imagine it happening while you're pregnant with 2 other kids. Because she had kids, like, back to back to back.
Wow.
Like,
oh, my gosh. I cannot even imagine. Like, my kids are literally 9 years apart. So it was definitely a different situation for me. But it was, like, you know, I was in my early 20s, and it was just something I didn't talk about. I'm just like, this is life. I guess this is normal. So I just, like, literally struggled on a daily, but never discussed it until now. And I'm just like, oh, wow, I was not the only one out there who has dealt with this. Like, there's so many women, and it's sad. It really is, like, that. It wasn't a thing that you could, like, talk about, or I felt like I couldn't. Yeah. I don't know.
It had a very, like, kind of, like, taboo feel to talk about it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of up there with, like, nobody wants to talk about, like, miscarriages or infertility or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like, it just feels too taboo, you know?
Yeah. And I can tell you, my first pregnancy was only 8 years ago, and, like, they even were really good at doctor's appointments. Like, you had to fill out forms and you had to take a little test every time you went. Even, like, for your baby's checkups, they would, like, check in on you. And they even started checking in on, like, my husband. Like, they would ask him questions, like, because now they're saying, you know, men can have a postpartum depression too. Like, it's a whole new world for them. But I still was like, oh, no, that would make me weak or something. I don't know how to explain how it was in my head, but it was like, nope, I'm checking I'm happy boxes, like, every time. Yeah. So even while they're checking on you, you're, like, faking it. It's very weird feeling.
No, that is so funny that you said that, because I remember that too. Like, they would give you the sheet, and it was like, are you having this feeling? And I'm just like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. And I remember even, like, my mom, like, she would be like, are you okay? And I'm like, yes, I'm fine. And I wasn't. I was literally, like, dying on the inside. You know what I mean? Like, in my own head thinking, oh my gosh, like, just going, like, through the steps day by day. But
I'm great.
To everyone else, I'm like, yeah, I'm great.
Well, I feel like there's almost that expectation on women to be like, well, this is, like, what you're supposed to do, so you have to be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Like, you're a bad mom if you say that you're, like, struggling.
Yeah.
Yep.
One thing that I will always tell women now in my life is, like, there's this stereotype, and it is that the second you have the baby, you fall in love with the baby. I didn't. That made me feel like I was the worst human in the entire world. do not feel like you are the worst human in the entire world. You will eventually have a connection with your baby. But if you have a traumatic labor, hell, you don't know this person. This thing isn't a stranger to you. There should be no expectation that beyond you're like, oh, this is an infant that needs taken care of. It is not a true statement that you just somehow have this like immediate connection and fall in love. So I will always tell women that. That is my PSA for the day. And don't feel like a bad person because of it.
My cousin actually experienced something like that with her second child that she had because she had a traumatic birth with him.
Yeah.
And like he was a preemie. He came way too early type of thing. And I remember her telling me that she felt terrible because she was like, I don't feel the same connection with him as I did with my daughter. Yeah. I was like, I'm sure you're going to get there, though. Like, the way you gave birth wasn't exactly the normal way to give birth.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Exactly. Okay, we'll go back to the show. We get to Nick saying he was pretty critical of Zach during season 1, but he thought he's a new person this season. I'm like, Nick, he's playing.
Let's hear it, Sam. Let's hear it.
Cannot. Zach is just, I feel like he's such like the master manipulator. He knows how to speak to each person to make them like him. And I feel so bad for Jen because she just gets like gaslit in this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so sweet and naive. And it's like she's trying to like do all the like things for her husband. So she's like, oh, I'm going to listen to him. And I feel like she doesn't actually do or say what she actually feels. Like she just wants to listen to her. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel for her.
We get to Jen's apology video, and Nick, it goes back to the Demi interview. He asked Demi again about how she reacted to it. So he asked, like, you know, do you wish you would have handled it differently? Like, he's trying to give her an out. This bitch doubles down. She's like, she doesn't regret it. She says they were all handling a lot of stuff and that mental health issues don't discredit you lying to people.
I just could not with her. When she was, every interview that they showed of her, I was like, oh my God, would you shut up? You're being such a bitch.
Yes.
And like, Demi does this thing where she tries to get the fans to side with her, and she tries to be the fan favorite.
Yes.
Like, so much so by calling herself a fan favorite, which I never heard her being one of the fan favorites ever.
No. When she said that in that episode, I was like, what? Since when? When were you ever a fan favorite? I'm like, that's not true.
Yeah. I was like, I couldn't even tell the difference between you and another cast member, so whatever.
Seriously.
And so she says she thought Jen's absence was more of her running away from the problems instead of protecting her peace. And she says the video seemed calculated. And she says that sending it couldn't have been easy, but she says she did text her afterward, invited her to her Christmas party, and never got a response back. And I'm like, yes, because she was literally laying in bed trying not to think about all of the mental health shit going through her brain and the negative thoughts and going to counseling and like literally trying to survive and cook a baby. Like, come on. So we see Jen back to the Jen. She responds, I guess I'll see why it looked like, I can see why to her it looked like I was running away. But I want to point out that she's really good at deflecting. She's telling everyone I'm running away. Yet, where are you? You're not here. And and Jesse's like, mic drop. She says that this girl is so good at playing chess. She knew that Jen was going to bring up Italy. And Zach kind of like, I think this is when Zach breaks in. And he's like, during contract negotiations for season 2, Demi called up Jen. And he was like sitting and listening on speaker and said the most disgusting things about Jesse, who was her best friend. He said, like, Jen, come on. Like, how can you listen to this stuff? Like, what is she going to say about you? And so Demi said, Jen, how can you accuse me of all this stuff with Italy? I'm the victim. Then they ended the call. So they get in a car to go, I don't know, wherever they were going. Brett and Demi call them up, and Brett says they need to have a discussion about this word victim because he didn't like that it was used. He knew that if Demi said victim, it wasn't going to play well with the audience. Yeah. Let's see. So they have this conversation recorded.
That is the only time I've ever agreed with Zach when he's like, we need to record this. I'm like, okay, you're on to something there because.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was like, because this wouldn't have come off the same way, or she could have denied so much of how it was worded, but we have it word for word. Mm-hmm. So Demi literally says, like, I wrote down, I think word for word. The takeaway, in my opinion, should be this. We have very different ideas and different boundaries in our marriages. And what I value and what I really appreciate is the open and honest communication and relationship that Demi and Brett share. I think it's amazing, and it's something that I admire. And I may have jumped the gun in, like, judging her about that. And it wasn't fair for me to, like, hold that over her head. I was like, this makes so much more sense now why Demi pushed this. Me and Brett have an amazing relationship the entire season because it always seemed weird and out of place.
All the time.
She just said it all the time. And I was like, yeah. And now this makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, this was her whole thing. So
and I feel like any relationship, when someone says, oh, we're wonderful, like we have the best relationship, is always the relationship that there's issues.
Major problems.
Mm-hmm. The ones with all the skeletons that they're just not bringing out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which Taylor clocked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, so she gave Jen a full script to follow. And Jen says, I'm concerned that, like, what if they ask me about these conversations we had that were filmed? Like, I can't just change what I was saying to you, you know, in stuff that's already been filmed. And they end the recording because, you know, they're like, that's the gist of it. But the conversation had gone on for 30 minutes. And when Jen wasn't willing to follow the script anymore, then all of a sudden, Demi threatened a cease and desist. And I guess it was specifically going to be about talking about stuff that happened at Vanderpump Villa.
Which is crazy.
And so Nick asked Whitney, was she? Yeah.
It's super shady that you don't want.
You're automatically guilty at that point. Like, no one's going to believe anything you say.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
And there's no way. Like, production had to have stepped in and been like, no. Like, there's no way that they can allow people to get cease and desist on talking about what happened on these shows. Like, that wouldn't even work.
I feel like it would be a breach of contract. Probably.
Yes. There has to be something in there on contracts about that stuff. So he asked Whitney what she thinks. And she says, that call was weird. To call someone up and tell them what to say is weird. And then they cut to earlier where Demi and Whitney are on FaceTime. And Demi yeah. Just say, bring it up with Demi. And Whitney eventually just says, I'm just hearing this and trying to process this. So Jesse says, I understand that feeling because I was surprised over and over again with her actions in season 2. Like, I just kept giving her the benefit of the doubt, and, like, she just kept saying these crazy things. Nick asked me about Jay-Z Styles and the accusations Taylor made, and she again says it was just twisted. She says that Taylor said she was going to Jay-Z Styles for color, and Demi just didn't want her to have a bad color. She says that Whitney and Layla had both commented that they weren't happy with their color. Or maybe it was Jen. I don't know.
Yeah, there was 3 of them, I feel like.
Okay,
I forget what it was. Yeah, I'm not sure.
And she says, I'm a little worried, you know. I don't want you to have a bad color. And She's blown away that Jessie won't forgive her. She doesn't understand why she's isn't feeling the same way about the other girls who made comments. And Nick's like, okay, I'll explain this to you. Like, you're like a 5-year-old. She is your best friend. She has high expectations from you. And he's like, she just wants you to admit that what you did was wrong and like apologize. That's all she's looking for. And she's like, oh, okay. Like, and I think all they go back and all the other girls are like, that is what all of us have been saying to her. Like, that is not the first time she has heard that, like way of thinking. Layla
and Nick even said that he would be upset with her too.
Yes.
Like, I love that he said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Layla's like, she twisted my comment. She's like, I never said it was bad color. Literally, the only thing I've ever said is that I don't like blonde. And like, we've all made our own choices to be like, oh, I'm going to get this hair color. Like, I'm going to do this. And then I don't really like that color on me. Yeah. But that's not your colorist, like, fault. Nick brings up that we didn't see this side of Demi in season 1. And we kind of hear that all of them didn't really know Demi that long. And Jessie points out the only reason that Demi comes off the hero in season 1 was because everyone hated Whitney so much. So she was kind of like, if you go back, I would guess, and like watch it from that perspective, she's kind of being a bitch there too. It's just that we were all like, oh, yay, she's doing it to the person we don't like,
Yeah.
Nick asked Whitney if Demi's a bully. And Whitney's like, well, she does have bully tendencies. And Whitney says that it's a double standard when Demi is saying hurtful things. They should have done a drinking game. Every time Whitney says double standards, take a drink.
You would have alcohol poisoning. We can't do that. You'd be in the hospital.
I know.
Yeah. You could do the same thing with Demi and how many times she says the word narcissist. Because that's like her favorite word.
They love calling people narcissists. Yeah. Whitney says that when Demi like goes on podcasts and says hurtful things, or Jessie goes on podcasts and says hurtful things, and Michaela gets a pass when she treats Whitney badly via her TikToks, and she's like, they had more of a conversation here, but it's not a double standard. I think Nick essentially says it, and I don't remember exactly how it went.
Well, Jessie even said, she's like, it's not that we're bullying, and she's like, we're answering the question.
Yes,
we're just
that's
being
what
honest.
It was. Yeah. She's like, we're just answering what our reality is, what our perception is when someone asks us a question. Very different than Demi coming in and setting up a whole narrative and like bullying us about, certain things. Very different.
Right.
So then we go to Layla. This one hit me hard. We go to her body issues and self-harm. We see a clip of her and Demi that we never saw before. And she's talking about how she's been skinny her whole life. And she says, like, she still struggles with body dysmorphia. And she says when people tell her she looks healthy, that word actually triggers her because it makes her feel like healthy to her means I've gained weight. Yeah. And when she's told she's skinny or that she looks sick, like in her twisted mind, she's like, I'm on the right track. And it gives her almost like an endorphin rush. And I can say, like, Anne and I, we grew up in the early 90s, which was horrible for body image. And we both still struggle with it because of that. Like, insane. We were, I don't know, early high school, like when Britney Spears came out. And we would literally, we were like, oh, Britney Spears is fat. Like, that's how our thoughts were then. Like, do you remember, Anne, we would literally, my mom was always trying to lose weight. Like, that was like a thing. She would always like gain weight, lose weight. And we would like listen to these tapes of like my mom's weight loss videos, like tapes to go to bed.
Yes.
And we were children.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh
It was disgusting. Like, looking back
real
now,
bad.
I'm like, what was wrong with us? But it was like, I'll never forget, I had a very close friend, and she was a completely different size than me. Like, probably 5 inches shorter than me. Just like, our body types were completely different. And we would have these, like, we had to be in a size 0 jean. Like, I'm telling you, and one thing, like, the older I got, I'm like, I never want this to be an issue with my kids. Like, it was bad. Like, the time that we grew up, like, being thin, like 90s thin, when you hear that, like, that's all we ever, like, we grew up with.
It was a part of it was literally weird. Our everyday lives. Like, I can't even explain to you how much it was, like, in our, like, head. It was
in our heads.
Yeah, it was horrible. Like, looking back, and
not healthy at all.
No,
like,
not at all. It was, and it still affects me. Like, to this day, I will sometimes, like, the other day, I ordered Panera at work, and I was like, oh, I want one of their, like, they have this new blackberry lemonade. And I'm like, oh, that's 230 calories. Like, I don't need that. I really wanted the damn lemonade, but my freaking sick brain is still like, can't take an extra 230 calories on. Like, that's crazy. I am in my 40s. Yeah. Get over it. Like, why? Like, it's still, I have to, like, fight it still. It's horrible. So I feel for her. Like, this made me very, very sad. She says that, we see scars on her wrist, and she says that she's dealt with really bad depression and anxiety her whole life. And she says that she attempted to take her own life multiple times and thought she would be better off dead than living. Like, it's so sad. She said she feels like she's never enough, and she was literally told that growing up. Like, I think we could get into the freaking parents of these people, and it would – Michaela's parents, we actually see Taylor's parents and how terrible they are. Now, like, we hear about Michaela's, like, it's not good at all. And yet they're probably all, like, well respected in the church and, like, real good people.
Real good people.
Always how it goes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
She says she hasn't self-harmed in a long time, which I'm really glad to hear. And she says she did start to get her scars removed because her kids, like, noticed it and was like, oh, Mom, owie. And she's like, that's not me getting injured. Like, I did that to myself,
Yeah.
And this is when, go ahead.
When she said about getting her scars removed, I didn't understand that. Like, laser?
Like,
I'm
how,
guessing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably like a plastic
surgery
type procedure. I guess.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Because I've heard of people covering up their scars with, like, a tattoo, but I didn't know you could get them removed either.
Yeah. Get them removed. I didn't realize that either.
Yeah, I don't really know. So Jacob's really affected by this, and Nick asks him about it, and he's just like, I'm just a girl dad. Which, that wasn't really an answer, but I don't think he knew what to say. He was emotional.
He was very emotional through this whole reunion, and I love, like, he just seems like such a great partner.
Yeah.
He does,
I don't, even, like, with the whole, like, with Macy getting pregnant, and I don't know, like, he's just, I love that he puts his emotions out there, and I don't know, I like him.
Yeah, I know in the very beginning, we talked about, like, we are not attracted to any of these men, but I think more that I get to know them, I am.
I know.
Because, like, I am just, like, I think I am attracted to people's personalities, I think, sometimes, more than I really am, like, their physical. And so, like, I'm, like, they're becoming more and more attractive to me. And Brett is less so.
Yes. I know, and we thought, like, I thought in my head, ooh, I like Brett. And then after that one, I was just like, no, I don't like anything about him, actually. And I don't know if it's more because he was our age and these, like, guys are super young.
That's probably more what it is. Yeah, all these other guys are much, much younger than us. Yeah. So he goes to Michaela and says that, she also opened up about her sexual assault and asked what her decision for sharing that was. And she said she's had a lot of stored trauma, and it was all coming out with, like, physical health issues. And she said that Connor I cried at this part. Connor actually called her and encouraged her to go to therapy. And she said that it meant so much to her because her and Whitney were going through it. Like, they were not talking. And the fact that he still wanted to make sure that she knew she had support and that someone else was like, felt similar. I was like, that is a good person.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I thought that was super sweet of Connor too, but I really like Connor, actually. There's just something about him that I'm like, I like you. I just wish you chose a different wife, honestly.
Yes. I've come to like him. Yeah. I did not at first.
I don't
know. I know
how I feel about Connor. I will say, after this reunion, like, my heart broke for Connor, like, knowing now, like, what he went through. But I don't know. There's just something, I feel like he's hiding something. Like, I feel like he's not ever going to leave Whitney because of the platform that she's on. But if it wasn't for this, I don't think that their marriage would last.
Probably
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So Nick asked,
he has it way too well now.
I don't know if he cares about that, but Nick asked if Michaela would accept a hug from Whitney, and it gets really awkward, but she does. But I truly, like, yeah, I don't think
that
Michaela
was so weird.
Yeah, it was real awkward.
Yeah. If anything, why wouldn't he be like, Connor and Michaela hug? Yeah. Why Whitney in that moment? I didn't get that.
Yeah,
people
that
just
was
want
weird.
Like, friendships to survive. People don't like the reality that, like, sometimes it's better off being apart, you know?
Yeah.
We get some clip packages of, like, all the crazy shit that Mormons do and, like, their ketamine therapy. Have you two ever heard of ketamine therapy before this? Because we have not.
I never heard of that.
Okay. And so it's just a very Utah bubble thing. Getting laughing gas at Botox, something we also haven't heard of either. I know you two are young gals, but we have since started Botox, and they do not offer laughing gas at our Botox sessions.
They just go right in, with the needle, right into your forehead. They don't do anything.
No laughing gas. That's also a Utah thing.
Yeah.
It must be, honestly.
It's like, what the hell? I mean, it's so quick. I mean, they must be getting, like, multiple procedures done when they're there, because, like, when I go in for Botox, it's literally like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Yeah, you sit down, you get it done, and you leave. It's not a production. Like, no. I don't know.
No, not at all. Nick asked about, this is where they talk about the hot dog in the bun. So Nick asked about Mormon hacks, and he brings up docking. And so Macy describes it, I think, as a hot dog in a bun. And then one of the other guys is like, yeah, you can slide it in and out. And we hear young Mormons will go to Vegas, get married just so they can have sex, and then get it annulled. Crazy. That is crazy.
That is so wild to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's okay. That's okay in their religion to do that. But it's not okay just to have, like, that blows my mind.
Yeah. He asked about derfing, which I have never heard about. And I know a lot of stuff about Mormons, and this was new to me. And Macy's like, everyone's derfed. And apparently it's like dry humping with your clothes on. I'm like, okay. Why do they have a special name for it? Like, I mean, everyone has been a teenager and, like, done some weird, awkward, I'm sure, dry humping or something in their day. But, like, we don't have special names for it. Taylor says, Dakota's docked before. And I'm like, does that mean with her? Or, like, what?
Yeah.
And they just move on.
Because it seemed like also they pretty directly, like, just had sex. So when was the docking happening?
Yeah.
So then we're wrapping up and we get a big surprise, which is no longer a surprise to us because we all know who's on Dancing with the Stars, but they made it into like a dramatic thing. So they announced that Jen was the one selected and they just wanted to see Whitney's face. Like they were being assholes. Oh, yeah. Like they wanted to see if Whitney was going to get like an annoyed
but
face.
I like that they did that.
She actually did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she
too.
actually reacted okay from what I could tell.
Yeah.
And then they say Whitney also is going to be on it. And then we see like a sneak peek package of season 3. The end. So yeah, we have a solid 2 hours here of chatting. My goodness.
Wow. I know when you said we're going to probably be on for 2 hours, I was like, there's no way. Here we are.
There's a lot to cover in this reunion.
So the reunion itself was about 2 hours long too, so.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. And thank you for taking those notes because when you said that, you know, like I should take the notes too at first, like, cause I waited into the last minute to do, cause we just recorded
we just recorded,
Friday? Yes. Friday night at 9:00, which was so late. Like we didn't finish until like 11:30.
Yeah.
And then I just watched the reunion last night. Like I literally just, and I was like, I can remember this. I'm not taking notes. So thank you for that.
Well, I was at a swim meet all day yesterday, so I did it while we were waiting between meets, between heats or whatever they call them. I'm a swim mom now, so.
Yes, you are.
All right, so thank you guys so much. This was so
much fun. Thank you guys for having us. This was great.
Yeah. Hopefully you liked us. And if you ever want to do a book sometime in the future, let us know. I don't know how we'll do it.
Yeah.
Hashing a book, but we'll try. So please everyone listen to Shaded Reality Pod. We're on Shaded Reality Pod at all the things. And you guys want to like plug your stuff?
We're 2Piece Podding. We're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and basically anywhere where you can get podcasts.
Yes. Yeah, we just got on YouTube, and I also set up a Patreon in case people want to listen there, too. So we're on everything. All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a fantastic day. We'll be back soon for season 13 because these will be dropping right before that comes out. So
season 3.
Season 3. Why I said 13, I don't know. But... I hope there's 13 seasons of this. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.